What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Radiant Typhoon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely interesting deck based around Mystical Space Typhoon. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Sween. Sween is definitely a 3-of in the build and just such a powerful card, especially since all of our low-level Radiant Typhoon monsters share an awesome common effect. That if you have a Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spells or trap cards, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is an amazing ability to basically make all of our level 3 monsters extenders. This card also has an amazing ability if it's normal or special summon and add a Radiant Typhoon spell or trap card or a Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Eldum. Eldum is really good as a 3-of as well because if this card is normal or special summon, and add a Radiant Typhoon monster or an MST from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Megala. Megala is really good as a 2-of in the build because this card helps us instantly bring out monsters from our deck with an awesome ability of the Radiant Typhoon quick play spell card or a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated. You can actually special summon a Radiant Typhoon monster directly from your deck with a different name than the monsters you control. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest turn except for wind monsters, which is the only downside of this card. We then play 3 copies of Croacy. This card is such a powerful 3-of and so good in this deck. This card is ability cannot be destroyed by battle by card effects while your opponent controls no spells and trap cards. And if a quick play spell card is activated, you can actually special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add a Radiant Typhoon card and or an MST from your deck and or graveyard to your hand, getting you a double search, which is absolutely insane. This card is so good in the deck and definitely a 3-of in the build. We then play a single copy of Phoenix the Great Flame. This card is a really good boss monster in the deck with a great effect that if a quick play spell card is activated, you can actually special summon this card from your hand. If a quick play spell card is activated on your side of the field, you can actually target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and shuffle them into the deck. And if a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card's in the graveyard, you can actually special summon this card, which is such a powerful ability. And it's so cool about this card that if a quick play spell card is activated, you get to basically just bounce those 2 cards, which is absolutely insane, and just shuffle them into the deck, which is so powerful about this card. We then play a single copy of Radiant Typhoon Vavaroom. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build, and just an awesome 1-of in this deck, because if a quick play spell card is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and also when your opponent activates a monster effect, and you have an MST in your graveyard quick effect, you can negate that effect. Then, if you have 2 or more MSTs in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. And if a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card's in the graveyard, you can actually special summon this card, which is a great ability to instantly bring this card back to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Speedroid Terratop. Terratop is a really good engine in the deck to basically just play the Speedroid engine because this card has a great effect that if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and when it's normal or special summon, you can actually add a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand except another copy of this card, which is a great ability to instantly get to a copy of Tekatomborg. Tekatomborg is great in this build because if you have a wind monster on your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, making this card an insane extender because our level 3 Radiant Typhoon monsters are also wind. So you could play this card at 2 in the deck if you wanted to, which would be really insane just having another extender in this build. But being able to play the Speedroid engine in this deck is awesome to basically guarantee you 2 monsters on your side of the field, so you can make something like a copy of Totem Bird or Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, which is super cool. But these cards are really good in the deck just to give you more extenders in this deck, so you can summon these cards out to your side of the field, because you can even normal summon out your copy of your Terratop to your side of the field to go full combo, because all of our Radiant Typhoon monsters are basically extenders for the level 3s, so this card is really good in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then also play 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fluros. Fluros is great to basically help us dig in the deck for the exact cards that we need. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is an amazing 1-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps while you're going in for all of your plays. I'm going to see a copy of Ghost Trick Shot. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build and helps us step into a copy of F-Zero. With the ability, you can special summon a Ghost Trick monster from your hand or your graveyard. Then you can actually change one face down Ghost Trick monster you control to face up action. But the main effect we're actually using on this card is to bring back a Ghost Trick monster from our graveyard, basically using this card as a monster reborn for a copy of Alucard. So if you can put 2 level 3 monsters on your side of the field, you can make a copy of Alucard, then a copy of Angel of Mischief, detach from your copy of Angel of Mischief a copy of Alucard to add this card from your deck to your hand, use it to bring back your copy of Alucard, make a second copy of Angel of Mischief, and then go in for F-Zero, and then Utopic Draco Future, which is so insane to be able to do, because the cool thing about this deck is you don't really need the X deck all that much, because you have so much versatility with the X deck, which is insane. So this card is amazing in the build to basically help us step into a copy of F-Zero. We then played 2 copies of MST. MST is so cool that it's finally back in the meta, and it's awesome that they actually based an entire deck around this card because it's one of my favorite cards, but it has a super simple effect to target a spell or trap on the field and destroy that target. We then play a single copy of Manifestation. Manifestation is great in the deck, but I feel like 1 copy is really all you need. Since this card is destroyed by the effect of MST, you can actually set this card, which is a great ability. You can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of this card once per turn to send a Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck to the graveyard, or add an MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand. We then played 3 copies of Vision. Vision is absolutely broken and definitely a 3-of in the build. This card is so good as it has the ability in this card is destroyed by the effect of an MST. You can actually set this card and you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of this card once per turn to draw 2 cards, and then if you have a Radiant Typhoon card or a quick play spell in your hand, discard one of them or your entire hand if you don't. Or you get to add an MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand. We then played 3 copies of Chant. Chant is really good as a 3-of as well, because this card is basically the Rhoda for the deck, letting you add a level 4 or lower Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck to your hand, or add an MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great ability to be able to use. We then play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. Droplets is another quick play spell we can play in this deck, and this card is just really good at basically breaking your opponent's board by negating their effects and also halving their attack points, which is super cool, but this card is definitely a 3-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Poly is another quick play spell we can play in this deck, and just awesome to be able to play to just break our opponent's board so we can basically swing him for game while also making some really cool cards like Garua or Mud Dragon. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 1, and that's going to be a single copy of Mandate. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build, and just an awesome trap card. Then once per turn, you can actually target 3 quick play spells in your graveyard, including a Radiant Typhoon card, and apply the following effects in sequence. You shuffle them into the deck and then draw a card, and all win monsters you currently control gain 300 attack and events this turn. And once per chain, when an MST is activated, you can actually target a face-up card that your opponent controls and negate its effects, which is absolutely insane. And then this card is destroyed by the effect of MST. You can actually set this card, which is an amazing ability to be able to use, and this card has hands down one of the best artworks in the entire game. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Totem Bird. Totem Bird is definitely a 1-0 in the build and such a powerful card to be able to play, as during either player's turn, when a spell or trap card is activated, you can detach 2 materials from this card to negate the activation to destroy it. And this card loses 300 attack while it has no XZ materials, but it's still really good to use this card as a spell trap negate. We can make a single copy of Cicada King. Cicada King is really good as a 1-of as well, as if the battle position of this card is changed, you get to special summon an insect monster in the hand of the graveyard in defense position, but when a monster on the field activates its effect, you can detach a material in this card, and then target that monster, negate its effects, and then you can actually make one insect monster on the field, either gain 500 defense or change its battle position, which is a pretty cool ability to use with this card. Like a single copy of Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, this card is just really good at changing effects and is an awesome 1-of in the build, as once per turn, when your opponent's monster activates its effect, quick effect, you can actually detach 2 materials in this card, and the activated effect becomes both players draw a card, which is a crazy powerful ability to be able to use with this card. Like a single copy of Downer Magician. Downer Magician is great to be able to make on top of any of our rank 3 monsters, just to give our copy of Zeus an additional material. Like a single copy of Alucard. Alucard is great in this deck as a 1-of, and just an awesome card overall in this deck. You can actually detach an XZ material from this card, and then you can actually target a set card your opponent controls and destroy that target, which is a really cool ability. But the main reason we play this card is we can actually rank up into our copy of Ghost Tricked Angel of Mischief by just overlaying it on top of our copy of Alucard. As all you have to do is basically make your copy of Alucard, then make a copy of Angel of Mischief on top of it, then detach your copy of Alucard from Angel of Mischief, because Angel of Mischief will be able to search from your deck to your hand a copy of Ghost Trick Shot, then make a second copy of Angel of Mischief on top of the copy of Alucard you just brought back with your copy of your actual Ghost Trick Shot, then make a copy of F-Zero, then you simply make a copy of Utopic Draco Future on top of your copy of F-Zero, giving you a walking negate, which is insane that any 2 level 3 monsters that do not lock you into win instantly make your copy of F-Zero, and it's so cool in this deck, especially with the Speedroid engine. And this card is super good in the deck because it has a crazy powerful ability. This card can also be XZ by using F-Zero Utopia Future, and you control as a material, and you transfer any of its materials to this card. It cannot be destroyed by battle by card effects, and once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can actually detach a material in this card, negate the activation, then that monster's on the field, you gain control of it. We'll make a single copy of Zeus just to board wipe the field, just in case we need to. A single copy of Typhoon. Typhoon's great in this deck to basically use it as a skill drain for 3,000 air attack with monsters and a bounce. Like a single copy of Garua. Garua is a great super target alongside our copy of Mud Dragon, which is just really good in the deck. And then like a single copy of SP. SP is a great double interruption. And then finally, a single copy of IP. I feel like you don't really need as many Link monsters in this deck currently, but they're really good in the build to basically make your copy of IP and then go into SP during the opponent's turn. So that's it for the deck, guys. I would enjoy this deck. Is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Radiant Typhoon deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's so much fun to be able to play, and it's insane how powerful this deck is to basically just lock down your opponent and basically just deal with your opponent's back row over and over again. So that's good in this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.